Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, Shane Willis, the Pensacola real estate expert, bringing you today's episode. Today we're going to talk about millennials and why they're choosing to buy. I first wanted to apologize for missing yesterday. We had a pretty long day on set. For those of you who have been following the show, you know I'm on a set of a television show that's going to be on Amazon, and I think it's Investigative Discovery. And so yesterday was a pretty long day on set. We didn't get a chance to get over and get this done. I take full responsibility for that because I should have done it. Had a pretty good report on why you should really be considering selling now. But what I'll do is I'll put it as a blog. Instead of just a podcast, I'll put it as a blog, and I will put that in the show notes here for this podcast, how to get over to that blog, why you should be looking at selling now. There were some really good points brought up in a couple of the articles that I read, so I wanted to get that done. But today, I wanted to talk to my millennial friends, and it's not just the millennials that are looking at this, but this generation is such an economic impact for the foreseeable future. They're getting into their earning ages. They're coming out of the starter jobs, and moving into careers. And some of them still are not. Others are towards the beginning of it, and we're just going to see this generation move through just like we did the baby boomers. So why are millennials choosing to buy? There was a home buying study, and they actually came up with the top 5 reasons young renters are choosing to own. The first one makes the most sense, is they want to have control over their living space. That's like 93%. 93% of them want to have more control. They dream, when they're renting that apartment, they actually put down their dream of the day to where they can paint the walls whatever color they want, renovate an outdated part of their living space, want to add a pet to their family, which is always difficult when you're renting. So having control over their living space is the number one reason millennials are choosing to buy. Number 2 is a sense of privacy and security. Privacy, not as much, because you can get some privacy even as a renter, but a sense of security. You have control over who has access to your home. In Florida, as a landlord, all I have to give you is 24 hours notice. I give you 24 hours notice and I'm allowed to come in the home. If there's an emergency and I think that the property is in danger of being damaged of some sort, I can even waive that. I can come in to protect the asset, protect the property. So as a renter, you really are not sure who's coming in your home. And I know of some rental management companies that have high turnover in staff. They do quarterly inspections on rental properties. So if you're renting from them, you're going to have an inspection once a quarter. But they're having high turnover on staff, so you're going to have at least 4 inspections a year, if not 5, and it could be a different person every time. And so that sense of security is not really there. So that's number 2 reason that millennials are buying. Number 3, to live in a nicer home. You get to choose what you're going to do to the property. You get to choose how you're going to renovate it, how you're going to restore it to its glory, what's going to be updated and what's not. So 81% of the study's participants said to live in a nicer home was their top reason. It wound up being number 3. Number 4 is to feel engaged in the community. Owning a home in the community, it just gives you a sense of belonging. And so only 75%, but that's really kind of high. 75% of them said that they want to feel engaged in the community, and that owning of a home does give them that feeling. And number 5, to have flexibility in future decisions. Now that one actually kind of surprised me a little bit, because a lot of people say that's the reason they want to rent. They don't want to be tied to a particular area. They want the flexibility of, finishing a lease, getting up and moving. And that's one of the reasons that millennials have stayed as renters for a while. But now we're starting to see I think that comes more towards financial security, because owning a home is almost like a forced savings account. Sorry, I keep taking sips here. I've got something stuck in my throat for some reason. It's like a forced savings account. And let's face it, when you pay a monthly payment for housing, you are either paying your mortgage, which is a forced savings, or you're paying somebody else's mortgage, which is their savings. And sometimes it's not even a mortgage. There's times that they've already just paid cash and they're just making the revenue off of it. So you're paying their retirement account. So either way, I think that flexibility in future decisions is not as necessarily about location, which we all know that's the biggest thing on real estate, location, but more about the financial security, the financial future of being able to own a place and have a forced savings so that you can move upward and onward in the future. Anyways, that was just some highlights. I got a nice infographic for those of you who are on the email list. And if you're not on the email list, get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. That's 5minutesinrealestate.com. Put in your email list. You'll always get the tips, tricks, infographics, graphics, all the other stuff that comes along with these episodes. Also, if you have not subscribed to the podcast, get over to the iTunes or Google Play. We're on both of those. Whichever your player of choice is, make sure you subscribe. Would love a thumbs up. And finally, if you found any value in this or any other episode, I always end by asking you to share it on social media. Have a great weekend.